welcome back to the U Up podcast. I'm Jordana Abraham.
And I am Jared Freed. It is so good to be back here with you, Jordana. How are you? What's going on?
I'm good. I am going on vacation tomorrow, so I'm excited.
I didn't even know that. We started so quickly here.
We just had to jump into our Sunday SOS episode that I didn't even get into it yet.
Right.
No.
So, and for those listening right now, Sunday, we have a listener, one of you, coming on the show, and we're giving them advice. I think we did a good job.
I think so, too. She seemed like she was helped.
Right.
Yeah.
It is. It'll be satisfying because I do think we're gonna get an update.
I really would like an update on that one.
Right.
You guys will have to listen to know what we're talking about.
Something's coming. So where are you going tomorrow?
I'm going to St. Kitts.
Whoa!
Is that a whoa location?
Love St. Kitts.
Have you been?
I've been.
You've been?
Yes.
It's very hard for me to find anyone who's been.
St. Kitts and Nevis?
Yeah.
There's a great fish restaurant there that we went back to. I went with my family growing up.
Oh, yeah?
And we love St. Kitts. Yeah.
You've been multiple times?
It's pretty random. I think we were there, I don't know. It was years and years ago. I got to find out this fish place that's like Spratnets.
Okay.
I can't believe I remember the name. I had a T-shirt.
You're going to have to text it to me.
I had a T-shirt and I would wear it all the time. I think it fit me well. And
that's the name? I'll get you another one. Do you want another one?
I want another one. Yeah. Go.
Spratnets.
So are you and Mike weekend?
Just me and Mike. 5 nights actually.
I'll
be
nights.
back. I'll be back before our next recording. Don't worry.
Love it. Oh,
yeah.
So let's get out of here. Let's get some sun. You need that tan.
Yeah, I have not seen the sun since August. I am fiending. I am fiending for the sun.
You even mentioned my tan. Mine's wearing off. You're tan.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, this is sad. You need to get out of here.
I need to get out of here.
We just compared our tans for those listening and not watching on YouTube.
Much, much tanner than me. It's been driving me crazy for a few weeks, so I booked this trip. And the only issue is there's only one airline that flies there direct.
And it ain't Delta.
Not only is it not Delta, but
Spirit.
it is my arch nemesis.
Oh, JetBlue.
It is my arch nemesis.
Oh,
JetBlue.
no.
I'm glad I'm saying this. I think I'll be back by the time this is aired, so they can't. I'm just I have a fear that they know how much shit I've talked about them, and they won't let me on the flight, or they'll put someone will put something in my bag.
Right. Well, you've already there's a thing where it's it's in your head that listen. I think airlines in general
I feel like you going to Buffalo.
Yeah, right. Once you get back, you can talk some shit.
Right.
But I think airlines in general get a lot of grief because we're all when you're going somewhere, you got to get there. And if it gets ruined, your whole trip is ruined and it's your vacation. But for the most part, the airline industry is pretty fucking good. And so I'm praying for, knocking on wood. I hope you have all the easy flights. Direct. Okay, direct is good.
They're the only airline that flies there direct from New York.
Listen, early flight, beach by noon.
Early flight, beach by noon. It's Caribbean.
I mean, this is Plug City. This is a good reason for everyone to do a weekend trip there.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been. I've met 2 people who've gone before. It seems very random. I kind of think it's a little random, but I'm ready to go.
I think it's great. I mean, listen. Try your best to go to Turks and Caicos. Go look. I mean, Candace might have spent $30,000 on her trip for a week, because if you go look at hotels in Turks and Caicos, which I've done, they're insane.
Yeah.
St. Kitts might be trying to make a play. A lot of these airline, if you go to Aruba, there's a lot of Boston people.
Interesting.
And it's because deals are made between the airlines and the airports, and there's just routes. There's deals made. I think this is part of what governments, how governments bring in money, tourism dollars. They go, we're going to commit to Boston, so you see Dunkin' Donuts on the beach in Aruba. So you going to St. Kitts, this could be the new, maybe we're ahead. Maybe the UA podcast
I'll open
listeners.
a Starbucks there one day.
That's right.
Dream. St. Kitts.
The mogul.
Yeah.
Knock down a few hotels there. Maybe Mike will go, oh, you are good at this instead of Long Beach.
Yes. And, my redemption day will come. But, JetBlue, I'm sure it's going to be fine. Well, famous last
You're going to be okay. No, it's going to be good.
Okay.
If it fucks up.
They have been rated the worst airline for 3 years running now.
Don't speak this into existence. It's going to be fine. Listen, there's nothing that feels crazier than when a flight goes off on time and you get in and you're I can't believe how I was in New York 2 minutes ago.
I mean, if anyone would know, it would be you.
Yes.
That's what you do every day.
I fly so much.
What percent of the time does the flight just go normal?
Like a lot. Like I'm not
like 80, 85,
90.
90.
Like I'm probably jinxing myself. I'm going to Chicago this weekend for shows. I hope I'm not, but I when I have problems, and here's the thing, as an alone traveler, when you're alone traveling, a delay, when I got nothing to do, I got no kids waiting for me at home, I got no, it's almost like a vacation and a vacation. Like I don't mind as long as I've had the horror stories, I've had the cancellations, I've had the, missing a connection, but like, I actually, when I go to the airport and I see people angry, I'm like, what did you think was going to happen here? like what did you think? You were walking into this easy street? Like, you think you deserve...
you're going into the air.
Right. You're going into the air. You're going to get somewhere different than here within hours.
Right.
And there's people, and it's all people walking around. It's all variables. Did you think you, of all people, deserve to just float on through with no stress?
Well, now I know who I'm not calling if my flight is delayed.
I'll be very interested now. I'm invested. I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
Nice hotel. Do we want to go to Plug City? Do we want to wait?
Let's wait. Let's see how it is.
Okay.
And then if it's good, I'll plug it.
Beach is there. Beautiful. You made the right decision. I'm excited for you.
I'm excited. I didn't know that it was like your family hotspot.
It for a minute, for like a hot second, I think is that like Nassau? It's close to Nassau.
Bahamas, but yeah.
I don't know.
They're all in the Caribbean, I'm sure.
I just remember loving St. Kitts. Nevis is nearby, and that's like the celeb
little
island. You can take a boat, And I remember we went to Nevis. We took the boat to Nevis. You get the booze cruise, and it was like my family and a bunch of other families, and we're like, we look. You ever watch Caddyshack when they open the pool for the caddies to go in? There's a scene where they let all the caddies go in the pool of the golf, club, and it's like mayhem, and then they poop in the pool. And
that was your family.
So my family, we rolled up on like this real, like the booze boat pulls up on the beach to show you Nevis, and it's a beautiful. And then I think there was like a St. Regis Ritz-Carlton, and you could see it just like, people like spraying Evian spray at each other. And we just ran up on the pool, and I remember my brother and I talk about it all the time. We just took all the pool noodles and we just started hitting each other with them. Wow. And they were like, get the fuck out of here. Like, they kicked us out immediately. I just remember a bunch of animals.
All right, Mike and I will try to recreate that experience.
Please do.
I'm excited. But you had your birthday last week. I'm sorry.
I'm sick of my birthday.
Your birthday is like literally, I think it's been a month that we've been talking about it. But there is one more story this is the last week.
Well, before we get into the story.
It's not even the same month anymore. We're in.
I know, it's getting crazy. And I'm like, who would celebrate a birthday month? You do, Jared. You just did. So I did my shows in Boston. I want to thank the Boston and Toronto people. Boston and Toronto, great weekend. Two shows in each city. Theaters over 2,000 people in each city, just unbelievable. The Wilbur's unbelievable. Toronto, the Danforth Theater, unreal. The crowds were great. But I met Rob from our SOS episode.
Oh, wow.
Rob sent a letter, and I got him tickets. I said at the end of our SOS episode, so him and his brother came. He gave me...
Not with the girl.
No, she's out. It seems as though he gave her...
Sure, he got some DMs.
I hope he did. He's a nice guy. He sent a letter. He said that all these people gave to his Boston Marathon.
Oh, wow.
He wrote a little letter on the back.
Is this to us?
Yeah, that's to us.
It says, thank you for the support, keeping the Boston Medical Center. Journey to the Boston Marathon would be possible without you. Love it. Okay, and then he says, thank you for the tickets and allowing me on the show. The show not only helped me with my ex, but helped raise money for my fundraiser.
There we go. So we all did good. The U Up community went to bat, and he gave us 2 keychains.
Oh,
this is his number, I guess, that he's running. And it says Betches You Up on the keychain with the Boston Marathon logo. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see. You up. This is from Rob's SOS episode. You can go on YouTube and watch it. You can listen to it.
Is that his number, 143?
It must be his number, 143.
There's a unicorn. Or does that mean like love or something?
No, that's the... What's that?
I love you is 143 is also like I love you, like 1 letter, 4 letters, 3 letters.
You women are crazy.
We're always looking for signs,
right?
And crystals, and
So I guess Rob loves you. No, that's the Boston.
We love you too, Rob.
Yeah, the unicorn is the Boston Marathon symbol.
It is,
and he's running in the Boston. Yeah, that's a thing.
All right. Well, this was what he had to drop off at that girl's apartment, I guess, to that he wasn't trying to get back together with.
Yeah, right. That means if this is what you're looking to drop off, the 10-cent keychain.
I love it. I love the personalized you up.
So
keychain.
Very nice of him. And so my birthday month continued. So on my birthday, I decided to I did 2 shows. And I did it with comedy.uo. It's this group of guys. They're very young. And they put together these New York City cool shows. So everyone should go follow them. They do it at Katz's Deli.
Okay.
Economy Candy, Paragon Sports. All these iconic venues that aren't comedy venues. And I like their shows. I don't usually go do...
You're doing a full set?
15 minutes, a showcase New York City set. But they reach out every now and again with one of their events. And I'm always they always have a good young audience, and they're everyone's well behaved. With a private personal, produced show, you're worried is it going to be mayhem? Is it someone's bar mitzvah that you're performing at? And they have great events. So if anyone's looking for a cool New York City thing to do, and also if you're looking to meet people, we talked about the U Up Mixer party last week. This is a great way to, because everyone that it goes is young. It's 20 somethings.
Okay.
So I've done their shows a bunch. They were do you want to come on Wednesday, do the show? I was yeah, of course. They're 8 and 10:30. So 8, I go do my set, and then I'm in what I would call Union Square-ish.
Okay.
And I was I want to go, it's my birthday. So
It's your birthday.
I want to get a nice dinner.
You deserve it.
I deserve it. So where am I going to go? There's a new place.
Taken back to your perfect birthday, which is every day. Sorry.
Every day is my perfect birthday. But I was I should get a dinner. So there's a place called Coat, which is a Korean steakhouse.
I've heard of it. I've heard it's great.
Big time, buzzing, can't get a reservation. Now Coat has opened up another place called Coca Duck that is their fried chicken and caviar restaurant.
Is that for the masses?
Listen, not for everybody. No, but I would say Coca Duck is it's where restaurants are going.
Okay.
You can kind of feel this
What about
experience night that they're going to make all the choices for you, that you can get a course meal with a bunch of friends. You get to try caviar. You get to try the fried chicken that's high end and done really well. They have KFC style, what's it called? Coleslaw.
Cool.
High-end coleslaw. It's a little Korean, little American.
It's high-low.
High-low, totally. Okay. And they have a really large champagne menu.
Okay.
So it's this but it's also Laser Wolf is in the same vein, where you go to Laser Wolf and they put out all the dips and you're going to get the skewers and not a lot of choices to make, but you're going to get a high-end experience.
Okay.
I would say the sushi place that I think is bullshit, but I understand what they're doing, is Sugarfish.
Okay.
Sugarfish does the same
They've
thing.
been around for a bit, yeah.
Sugarfish is the same example of,
we're going to bring you whatever the fuck we want to bring you.
Right. And it's a way for them to save money because they only have to buy 5 types of fish.
Right.
They don't even let you order rice off the menu. I could go on and on
Can't
about
make a reservation.
Sugarfish. Sugarfish is Chipotle for sushi.
I agree it's overrated. I've been a couple times.
It's fine, but I'm not going. Yeah, overrated is right because people get too much about it. But it's listen.
Or was overrated when it came out. I don't know if anyone's still overrating it.
Right. It's a millennial wet dream to have no choices and know you're getting something good.
Yes.
So that's what they're playing
the internet
off of.
has already pre-approved of.
Right. So that's what Coca Duck is kind of doing. But I would say if you're going to do a high-end night with some friends, get a reservation. I can't say enough
Plug
nice
City.
things. Plug City.
Okay.
So I'm I can't get a reservation, but I was I'm alone. Why don't I walk there? It's close, half a mile away, nice walk, and I'll show up and see if there's a seat at the bar.
Another reason to never be in a relationship, right?
Seat at the bar. I said anywhere. I go to any restaurant.
You can always get in.
Always can get in.
Yeah.
That's the beauty.
Think you're going somewhere with your family of 5? Fuck off.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Sorry.
Wait till you're retired and your wife's dead.
Yeah.
So
the dream.
So I show up there. I go, it's packed. I go, is there any room at the bar? They go, well, let me check. They got 1 seat. So I go sit down and I order the staff there. It's like Trader Joe's. They're awesome. Like
Friendly?
they like love working there.
The staff at Trader Joe's are the only happy people in New York City.
Literally. And
Everyone else hates their life.
That's
but
my
the
bar.
cashiers at Trader Joe's.
Absolutely. That's my bar for happiness at a workplace.
Yeah.
Everyone working at Cocoa Duck is happy. And this woman, the bartender, she's fantastic. She was like, I go, what should I do? Tell me about the menu. And she tells me, she says, you can get a bucket for one. We'll space it out for you. We'll course it out. And you get like a try of the chicken nuggets, and you get a try of a half a bird, and you get the dessert at the end, and cold noodles and the coleslaw. I was like, great.
Whatever. Yeah.
So I'm talking with her. I order a cocktail. The seat next to me opens up. This young woman sits next to me, and she orders one single chicken nugget with caviar on it and a cocktail.
Sounds not filling.
It sounds to me, and she starts taking a picture of it, and I'm like, she was young in the way that I'm like, she is TikTok
How much did that
young.
cost?
Probably $38. Okay.
It's probably all she could afford.
But she's doing what TikTok told her to do.
Okay, yeah.
It was just very much young, hot food influencer told me to go here. So I am here.
Okay.
So then my food comes, my big, pig order, and I start taking pictures of it to send to my family. She reaches over me, takes my phone. She goes, I'll take the picture for you. I go, no, I'm okay. Like, I'm not going to take a picture alone with my dinner on my birthday. Like, I was like, I'm taking a picture like a normal person. Right. But I go, no, thank you, though. I appreciate it. And she says something along the lines of, like, we start chit-chatting. She's like, I think I saw you at a show at the Comedy Cellar. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm a comedian. She's like, we start talking a little bit, and I'm like, well, what's...
So she recognized you?
Yeah.
Okay.
But vaguely. It didn't feel like she was like, knows that she's not hearing this, So I said, so what are you doing tonight? Why are you alone? And she's like, it's my birthday. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
Crazy.
I'm like, it's my birthday, too. She's like...
February 21st?
That's the worst day of the year.
Right. Who would have thought it's more than one person?
Who would do this to themselves? Yeah. So I go, oh my God, it's my birthday too. She goes, no way. We start having this conversation. I'm like, why are you alone on your birthday? I know why I'm alone. I'm 39 and I do comedy. Like,
right.
Like this is...
I have an excuse. What's yours, loser?
Exactly. And she's like, no, and what she said was very thoughtful. She's like, on my birthday, I like to be alone. I like to get my hair done. I like to go to my favorite food places. This is like my day of zen to like really just be alone. And I go, that's very nice.
Well, when you said that, I immediately thought soulmate.
This is
for
the
you,
annoying
not for
part.
me. I'm sorry to be that woman, but I'm speaking. You get to speak for all men. I'm speaking for all women.
And you are. The amount of messages. I put this story out there.
What did I text you right after you told me this story? Are you going to date her?
Am I going to date her? And it's like... This is not a referendum on her as a person. When I was sitting next to her, I'm feeling my age. I say men stay, the most disgusting man would be like, did you fuck? And I'm like, no, that's not my end game here with every woman I meet.
Right.
And a bunch of women will just be like, well, you guys should date. And I'm like, I don't know. To me, this was the date. I felt the vibe. It felt very much like a younger sister. Okay. She was very nice. I'm happy for her. She's cute. She's wonderful, peppy, fun. But that's not what I felt it.
And it sounds like the beginning scene of a rom-com.
Right. And it's amazing to me when I told this story, how many women would be like, well, you have to date. And it's like, this is why I think a lot of women, especially, get pushed down a road where they're like, and then they get mad. I wasted my time. And it's like, the person was there. You can't force things just for a story.
Right. Well, I mean, no one knew if there was a connection or not. She was you put up she's giving you a kiss on your cheek.
Hold on. So then my food comes, her nugget is there. My friend sent me a $50. He's like, get a glass of champagne. It's a $50 glass of champagne. Wow. And he's a sommelier. He's like, this is from my wife and I. You've met the baby. Yeah. So he sent it, and I go, listen, get her a glass too. We're going to have a champagne glass on our birthday. I said to her, why'd you only get the one chicken nugget? She goes, it was too much food. I go, I'm like, you gotta
too much food.
Right. I was like, you gotta try the food here. Like, you gotta get I give her
You're
my
like
leg.
feeding the young poor children of New York City.
Literally. I felt very sugar daddy.
I mean,
because I gave
some of my enormous feast with your single chicken nugget. Definitely feel has that vibe. Yeah.
I handed her, she took the leg, I took the breast, and we took a picture and sent the champagne glass to my friend, the baby.
Okay.
So now we tell the bartender. The bartender's like, this is unbelievable. What the fuck? I mean, 2 birthdays, whatever, alone. I'm like, yeah, shh. Enough. So she goes, and so the dinner goes on, and we're chit-chatting, and I'm like, I have another spot. I got to get going. And the bartender's like, no, wait. You have to have your ice cream. She brings out 2 cups of ice cream with a candle in each.
Wow.
And we're like, we got to take another picture. At this point, we'd already exchanged numbers, so I'm taking a picture to like send to her.
Are you guys drunk now?
No, I'm gonna do another show. Okay. So it was like a glass of wine in, and
she might be drunk. All she ate was a chicken nugget.
She might be. Well, this next part of the story, she literally, as we're taking a picture with the ice cream that has a candle in it, she turns to give me a kiss on the cheek, and her hair bursts into flames.
That is the most incredible story.
It literally, her hair goes like, you smell it, and she's like, oh my God, and a manager from the restaurant runs over, like smacks her in the face, is like, oh my God, are you okay?
God.
This is, and I kept thinking of you with the guy being like, are you okay?
Right, with the fucking
when you fell
tree,
over.
running into the tree.
Right. I was like, and the woman manager smacks her in the face. She goes, are you okay? Oh my God, that used to happen all the time. I used to work at Bagatelle. Like, she brings up another restaurant. I'm like, are you okay? She's looking at me. The girl, she still has sparks.
What's her reaction?
On her like face, sparks coming off her face. She goes, no, I'm fine. Like you. Like, get the attention away from me.
Yeah. Can we just pretend this didn't happen? Shh.
Just everyone turn away. But when your hair catches on fire.
It smells.
The whole bar smells of burnt hair. She also got her hair done that day for her birthday. Aww. It was just like
a story for her. Too.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, are you okay? Obviously she's like, I'm fine. And then we kind of moved on very quickly from it. And I'm like, what just happened there?
And thus the spell was broken.
Right. And she'll never get a boyfriend ever.
The first time you told me that, when I heard the story, you sent me a voice note, and I was like laughing hysterically. And it was, I thought because I thought the story was going towards, that she was like messing with you, that she knew who you were, that she said it was her birthday and that it wasn't actually her birthday.
Which would make sense if she was like a big fan of this podcast.
Right. But the end result was much funnier.
Right. I literally, so I said to her, I go, I have to go. Like, a car is here, as she's like smoking, as there's ash coming off her face. And I literally go in the car and I'm like, you have that moment of like, what just happened?
Did you get her number?
Yeah, because the first picture we took, we exchanged. She goes, send me the picture. So then I go do the other show, and she texts me. She's like, you're not going to do material about this, are you? And I'm like, I have to post this picture.
Must.
And she's like, no, you have to. And she was very nice. Like, she had a great vibe, a great way about her. It's just like, but it's also a very New York City story. Like, we are shoulder to shoulder in the city. Like, you go anywhere else, you're in your car, you're kind of far away from people. You the restaurant, the seats are farther away from each other. The idea of like,
but how coincidental
it's crazy
that this person seated right next to you,
alone
on their birthday, also
a birthday we talk about being the worst day of the year all the time. Like,
yes, I mean, it's just so weird. It's just so like,
it's weird.
It's so funny, and I mean. That is like there. I mean, we've talked about crystals before, but like that, there is a female thing that I am not immune from, which is like, this feels like it's in this, like the universe has sent you someone or something. So I can understand why you got a lot of annoying messages, including from me, about.
I empathize. I understand
the ultimate our story page.
That's what. Yes, and it's like. I understand why so many people say it, but then it makes me angry for them when they're in the situation. They go, no, I know this isn't. Don't. And if you're single, there's so many distractions. Like, you just want you want that straight line towards your person.
Yeah.
And along the way, the longer that straight line takes, the more you're like, just stop with the noise. Like, I don't need to hear that. Whoa.
You felt like it was,
you gave up on your perfect person.
Okay, you felt like it was like that was just noise in the background trying to steer you in a direction that you knew wasn't the right one.
And I think that happens with a lot of people who are single, especially like, this idea of like, am I trying? Am I doing the right things? And if you don't take every opportunity, you are somehow picky or your fault or you're miserable. You're not letting life come at you. You're not being zen enough. And it's like, this was more an example.
Right.
Like, I understand why people reach out to me.
Because they want to believe that, like, urban myth of, like, when you least expect it.
Right.
The girl next to you at the bar, the guy sitting next to you at the bar is just going to, like, sweep you off your feet and marry you 6 months later.
Well, we did talk about this on the benefits episode, this idea of, like...
when you least expect it.
Well, it's also, like, I do think men, me, being, like, this thing that is supposed to be, the world will tell me. Mm-hmm. That this glowing angel will make me forget all the other things that I get distracted by, like the dating apps and the the first dates and the excitement of this new person that's such a perfect fit, and then when you have this interaction, I'm like, that I didn't have that feeling. I had, this is my younger sister that I want to make sure gets fed.
You didn't want to look over at her, say, "You're the most beautiful thing that I've ever seen." And then 18 months later, be telling the entire internet how fire her outfits looked. That wasn't the dream for you?
Calling her Pookie. Buying her Bottegas or whatever the fuck they're called.
Birkin
bags.
Yeah. That could have been you after
could
this
have been
night.
me.
I mean, is that not the story of their meeting?
The longer we get away from the Pookie and Jet thing, the more... they just don't, they look like animatronic now.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, that's what people love about them. That feeling of like, and one day you'll just be at the bar and the right guy will just
come on
You're
over.
the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Like, what? No.
Right. Well, that's why people like you're right. Yeah. They like that story, but like, that's why they push you towards that. Right. And you go, no, it's not everybody. And then now I'm miserable gremlin Jared.
Join the miserable people club is right here in this room.
That's right.
Yes.
So
on this side
it was
of the
a
room,
fantastic birthday year. Do we want to get into the show?
Yeah, let's jump right in. Okay.
What are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about introducing your parents to your dating life.
Ooh.
I feel like you'll have a lot to say here.
I got a lot to say here. Also, if you are in Charleston, North Carolina, South Carolina, Charleston. I'm in Charleston. I'm also coming to Royal Oak, Michigan, and Minneapolis. So jaredfreed.com. Also Vancouver. I'm coming to not Seattle, somewhere near it. Now everyone's going to say I'm an asshole.
Mark your calendar somewhere near Seattle.
No, it's...
he's coming to you.
No, it's near Tacoma. Boise, Olympia, Washington. That's the one. Vancouver, Denver, San Francisco, McKees Rocks, Pennsylvania, Columbus, Ohio, Los Angeles, New Orleans, Dallas. I just added Nashville, Milwaukee. I just added, and I added another one. Something's coming.
Something's coming.
JaredFreed.com. All
right. I'll read this email. Hey, J&J and Candace. I have a question that will hopefully spark interesting conversation and potentially inspire a Jared rant if he's in a mood.
I'll be ranting.
Are you in a mood?
I'm in a mood.
You are?
I'm a little sweaty.
It's a little hot in here.
It's a little hot in here. Candace never hot. Never.
I'm wearing a hat today, and now I kind of understand why you get more hot.
Right.
It's quite hot, but it was raining, so my hair looks like shit. So that's the reason I'm still wearing the hat.
This keeps the heat in.
Yeah. I definitely think it warms it up much more than it would be otherwise.
Thank you for your empathy.
That's me with the temperature rules of thermodynamics. Okay. I live in a big city, same one I grew up in, and my parents live about 30 minutes away from me. I'm very close with my parents, and I see them all the time. And when I don't see them, I talk to them on the phone at least once a day. And generally, we have a really great relationship. Their opinion matters to me a lot, especially when it comes to dating. I try not to tell them about a guy I'm seeing unless I've gone out at least 5 times. That's specific. I've learned this the hard way, LOL. I was in a relationship a while ago where we were dating for about 2.5 months, and my parents asked to meet him because things were heating up. They met briefly once, and then I took him to to play a doubles tennis with my parents a few weeks later, and it all seemed to go very well. Wow. Doubles tennis with my family is so far away from that line of the spectrum of like functionality.
Right. I mean, it's very Meet the Fockers, very, very out of a movie.
Doubles tennis imagine playing doubles tennis with your parents and a girl you're.
I can imagine it.
I mean, it's more likely for you. Yeah.
I can imagine pickleball, tennis,
doubles tennis.
This isn't that far away. For me, I'm like, yeah, I can see how this happens.
Oh my God. For me, it would be like there'd be like 6 security guards and the cops. If that was the supervision, it would be fine. Okay. He and I took a trip together, became official, and then I had him over for a family dinner. Unfortunately, things ended a few weeks after that, and I felt really guilty for dragging my family into it and getting their hopes up with a relationship. However, it seems weird to move forward past the early stages with someone when my parents don't know or have an opinion about them. I guess the question that I'm wondering from you guys is, how soon is too soon to bring someone home to meet your parents, especially when they live nearby and you see them very often? Do you have to wait until you're official to introduce them, even when you want to get your parents' insight before making that step? What are the rules around all of this? Thanks for solving dating every week. Sincerely, a daughter who dates.
This is like a hard one to answer because it's like there's no rules. Mm-hmm. So when you start with there's no rules, it's like I can't tell you how to feel. But I think their email tells us how they feel. And they're actually, the one thing I kind of pick up from this email is this idea that your parents that you made them go through getting attached to someone and
right.
Like to me,
I think they'll live.
Yeah, right. Well, that's like a crazy person. Like that email does exist though, where like the mom is attached to the boyfriend, right. And that does exist. But
one thing I will say though on that note is that I think it's different for men and for women, where the daughters, a lot of the time, the daughter's relationship status, there's a lot more pressure on that in the family than with maybe your parents, where you're not like, maybe this is the one finally that like.
Listen, I understand that, agree with it, believe in it. Mm-hmm. She didn't write that though. Like she did write like, but I that's the email I kind of expected.
Right.
Of like, oh my God, I feel like shit because my parents are like, what happened? What happened? Yeah. You kind of feel like you didn't live up to something, that your family kind of, you can feel this. I don't think it's true, and I don't think your family looks at you this way, but I can understand as a woman, is there like a feeling of like, oh, they must think I'm not, what did I do wrong? Maybe, you know what I mean? Like, how could you mess this up? Or like
maybe they're invested in it because they're very excited for me to meet someone.
Right.
I think maybe more than a man.
I'm just saying,
especially if she's like the only, maybe like one of the only kids or something like that.
I've pulled back from this. Mm-hmm. From, hey, come meet my parents, because it doesn't, I know that there's no, like she even wrote here, she's like, I want to get their insight on the person. Like I've never introduced someone to my parents to be like, check a box to make sure they were cool with them. But I did judge whether they were cool with them. Right. You know, but like, it wasn't like my parents were like, get her out. You know, like that's not the, so I like what she's saying, like, is like way more.
Right. I mean, to be honest, this email reads a little immature to me. I think it's a little immature to say I can't decide if I want to date someone before my parents tell me if they think they're okay.
Right.
That's like, oh, I can't move into this apartment unless my parents look at the apartment and tell me it's like that it's okay and it's safe and it's in a good neighborhood. It's like if you're an adult enough to be in a relationship, seemingly like looking for a serious relationship, you have to be adult enough to feel confident in your own decisions about someone that you're seeing.
Right. Well, I mean, I will say on the other side of this, like I've introduced people to my family and been like, I don't like the dynamic for me. Like, I don't like the dynamic that I'm suddenly placed into based on all these personalities. And like, that's not me checking in with my parents to be like, it's me checking in with myself. Like, but it has to do with my family. Like, it has to do with like being around them. Like, it has to do with like, hey, I want to, like, my brother wants to hang out and we have this one opportunity to hang out with my brother and his girlfriend. And I'm being told, well, you'll have to do it another time because I don't want to hang out with them. Right. But and I go, well, I'm looking for someone who wants to spend the time when my brother and his girlfriend can come hang out.
But maybe that's more about you and the way that
Right.
you're thinking about that, and maybe that just goes to show maybe that I think that if that person were truly right for you, like if that person because you get along very well with your family,
Right.
So the person got along very, very well with you, I think that would sort of more easily translate.
You would hope, but I think you don't know until you go through that. But I also agree with what you're saying, like this idea of like I need. It's a thin line to me. Like you're not looking for like we're okay. You're not looking for your parents to go good to go,
right?
Like
Approved,
but you are looking for like the feeling of family.
Sure.
So, and that's and
but I feel like you should know that. Wouldn't you know at this point in your life? Don't you think if you were dating someone, you would know if your parents would like them?
I used to think I would, and I don't. I'm not as confident in that.
Okay.
Today, I do. Your point about immaturity is correct, and this is kind of like on the subject of like you're the woman I want, and I don't care what anyone else thinks. It's the Jet and Pookie of it all. I saw her in the bar, and I'll bring her. You know what I mean? But you go. I do think that like.
I see what you're saying. Like there is a sense of, I don't want to date someone that everyone in my life hates. Right.
Right.
That's like that's not a crazy thought to have.
But you would assume that someone has the ability at some age of life to know
Right.
that
I
the
would
people
assume-
that they like will be liked by the people they like.
I would assume knowing myself at this point, if I like someone and they like me, then we're all going to then they would have a somewhat of a similar vibe to the people that I care about them getting along with. Because those people get along with me too.
Right. I would assume that too. I think there's the assumption, then you see the reality, and then you see how it makes you feel. But like if she's sitting here going, when's the right time so that your family only wants you to be happy. I would assume.
Hopefully.
At a minimum. So the idea of like I've torn away a relationship from them, I think she's got to like change that perspective a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think they care as much as you think they do. I think it's more maybe like, I think she kind of feels like she's gotten everyone excited about this situation. And then now she has to be like, oh, that didn't work out. And, like, it's disappointing. But that's okay for everyone to be like, oh, I like that guy.
Right.
Oh, well.
The next one will be great too.
Right.
We'll like the next one.
That's what I think about anyone that, I have a bunch of siblings. I meet people they date. Sometimes, even if I really like them, it doesn't work out. All right.
Sure.
We're all like,
We're
I
all
think
gonna
you
be
overestimate how much anyone really cares about a situation that's not.
Right. And if she feels embarrassed, which is more I understand more. Where it's like, oh, I'm embarrassed that I brought this person around, then the person ended it with me. I can't tell you how to feel, but I just the embarrassment level, like I don't think anyone, I think you have to deal with, what I would say to you then is bring it to your next dating situation and go, hey, when I meeting my parents is actually like the end of the road for me, not the beginning.
Right.
Right, I need to change how I act. I've done that with my own life. Like I used to be like, yeah, there's just two old people, and it didn't matter to me.
Right.
And then over time, I realized how much it would, in a breakup, it'd be like, you introduced me to your parent. I'd be like,
yeah, that's meaningful.
And I was like, I guess I got to roll that back. I got to be more protective of that for the other person.
Right. But do you feel like you couldn't commit to someone before them meeting your parents? Not like marry them, sure, I think.
No, I would, especially at this age, like I don't hang out with a bunch of I don't have a group of 20 friends that I go out with on weekends.
Right.
So there's only like parents to meet.
Yeah.
That's who I hang out with.
You could be in a relationship without having them
met
your parents.
Yeah. But I do that. I would do that now more.
Right.
Just because I know that that's a big next step for me and for the other person.
Right.
So like my thing has changed over the years on that.
Yeah. And I think that's fine. But I do think that this the way she particularly rules, this email reads is she wouldn't want to make a decision about it before her parents okayed it. And that just to me just seems like you don't have confidence in yourself and your own decision making and like your ability to choose someone that's right for you.
Right. And maybe you're looking to have someone else have taste for you.
Right.
Where you're like, you kind of like someone and you're not confident in saying like, I know when I like.
Right.
You know, like,
and maybe that's sort of sometimes a symptom of being very close to your parents. Is
right.
You kind of lose that like independence factor where you know how to trust yourself because there's always been someone there to like decide
right.
for you.
Wear the shirt, you
right.
know, instead of like, I like this shirt.
Yeah.
Right. No, it's listen, I have issues with that in my own life, so I can't. I'm not, this person. I understand where it comes from.
Yeah. No, I get it. I just think that like this is a good if that's something she's thinking, that's a good symbol for her to be like, do I trust myself when I'm dating? Do I like believe that I can find that I can judge someone's character to see if they're a good match for me?
Right. Do I have to look into that?
Right.
As far as my taste and
does my taste depend on what other people think?
Let's do some awkward encounters.
Let's do it. You want to read it?
We love an awkward encounter.
This one is great.
This one's unbelievable. UUP@betches.com. Hello, J&J. Huge fan. Thank you for all that you do. A few years ago, I was driving to work early in the morning on an icy day. Traffic ahead of me stopped short, but my brakes did not, and I bumped the car. A Mercedes ahead of me.
Ooh.
It was a light hit. No airbags. The car ahead didn't appear to have a dent, but a hit nonetheless. We pulled to the side of the road and an older man walked out. It turned out I had hit the sweetest old man in the world. He was driving his teenage grandson to school. He had a thick Greek accent and kept saying, "These are things that happen." Is that?
I think that's more Italian.
Is that Italian? These are things that happen.
We'll have to ask Matchmaker Maria if your Greek accent is on
Let
point.
me try and do the sentence that he. Is this me? Am I gonna get is this cancelable? I think the Greeks are.
I think the Greeks you're okay.
I look Greek enough, you know.
I've gotten Greek too.
I get these are things that happen. The most important thing is that you are okay. Is that good? That's pretty good.
We'll have to watch my big freak back Greek wedding.
Feta cheese.
I don't think.
No.
I think it's coming off Italian.
Is it?
I think so. Right.
Right. What do we think? Tzatziki. I don't know. Okay. Never mind. Okay. So things he said. I'll do it in my accent. I can do it Jewish. These things happen. The most important thing is that you're okay.
We'll take it.
Is that Jewy?
That's Jewy.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll take it.
He kept saying it over and over again. We called the police, exchanged info. I learned he was 82.
Wow.
He kept saying to the police, "Ice on the road. These things happen." And didn't seem to want to move forward with insurance. I got to work on time to my job as a teacher, Jared. Oh. Calling me out. I guess you were late to recess. And thought to myself, wow, there are really good people in the world.
That's what I would think.
Right?
Yeah.
Little Giuseppe. No, what is it? What's a Greek name? No,
everyone in
Nicholas.
Greece is named Nicholas.
Yes. Yeah. Little Nicky. The next day I got a call from him. "How are you? I forgot to ask if you were hurt." He said on the phone, "Wow," I thought again, "this man is just so nice." I assured him that I was okay and asked if he and his grandson were sore at all. And I was so sorry that happened. He assured me they were both fine as well. "So," he said, "when do I take you to dinner?" Little euro for
God.
When do
I can just imagine her face on the phone.
Right. She writes, "Wait, what?" "I want to take you to dinner," he said again. I paused for a bit, totally confused. "Do you want to talk about the car?" I asked. "No, I want to ask about those big pitas on your chest.
Oh my God.
I want to put some hummus all over those pitas of yours." No, he didn't say that.
He didn't say that. Oh, wow.
He said, "No, I dodged dinner plans and then called my friends to recount the next chapter of my fender bender saga. His niceness the day before hit a little differently. Later that week, I got a call from his insurance.
Oh, wow. Petty.
Pay up.
Petty.
Yeah, that's petty. You're right.
That's petty.
My friends joke that I should have gone to dinner with my sugar daddy. You're Peter Papa.
Peter Papa. Peter Papa, love it.
With the Mercedes, but I never saw him again. Thanks for all you do. Love, hit, and hit on.
It just goes to show there's no such thing as a nice man.
Big dog gotta eat.
Dirty, disgusting old men.
That's right. He's 89.
Dirty old men.
In his mind, he's 29.
Oh my, that's the nerve.
The nerve?
The nerve.
Big dog gotta eat.
What is she? Probably like 28?
Listen, I like this guy.
When do I get to take you to dinner? I mean...
Come on, this he's just out there.
I guess there's a thing to shoot your shot, but like, I don't know. Do you think that you would ask
listen,
someone to dinner
I just told you the story of the 26-year-old. I'm 39. You know, I had a vibe of like,
I don't know.
Right. Have you ever been hit on? When do you get hit on?
By an older man?
You get hit on by an older man? Like,
I don't think so. I'm not around that many old men. Like, where would I?
When's the last time you were hit on?
Wow, you're making me feel insecure.
I'm sorry. Candace, when's the last time you were hit on?
Yeah, usually when I go out to bars. Am I being hit on by an old man? When was the last time?
Well, when did you have like a kind of a clumsy hit on situation? It is. Maybe he's a listener. It's fuck around February.
Maybe he's just taking our
now
advice.
it's meet someone new March.
Meet someone new March. That's right.
Yeah.
This is a Mykonos March.
That's a little more proper. That's why he asked her to dinner.
Right, dinner. I mean, who wants a man with a plan?
I mean, what is he going to send her a Netflix and chill request at 82 years old? He'll probably die.
I just remember
little baba ganoush on your chest.
My friend's grandfather, who has dementia, kept following me around her baby shower and hitting on me, and she was like, "I'm so sorry." He thinks he's in the 1950s.
What was he saying?
Saying things that nobody of this age would say.
Well, that's kind of, they get away with it because there's like a certain age by which, like, when you pass it, you're almost like,
he's an old man.
You get the pass.
There's no movie as dirty as the things that man said.
Really?
So give us one example,
please.
I'd have to really think about it and see what I blocked out of my mind. But
oh my god!
They started having family play interference.
That's how
he
aggressive.
was also in the 80s. So when I read this email, I was like, "Oh, I know what she means."
Dirty, dirty old man.
Love it. This is so hilarious. I love the name ideas.
Yeah.
My Big Fat Greek, Fender Bender,
Nopa.
Nopa.
Love it.
It's a fantastic name.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. What do you think is the limit for an 82-year-old if you were 82 and
There's
single?
no limit.
Anyone?
I mean, the way he asked to me is like the most respectful way to ask. When can I take you to dinner?
And then he got the insurance involved. Right. When she said no. That's very old school of him to blackmail a woman who's rejected him. Extort, rather. That's the most old school part of it.
Shooter's got to shoot. Right?
There's no such thing as a free fender bender.
No, at all.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a nice guy.
Lesson learned.
He was so sweet.
I know. He's calling to check in on her to see how she's doing.
Right. You know what wasn't sweet? When he was going at his beef skewer later that night thinking about you.
With his with his grandson in the car, no less.
He probably looked at his grandson and he was like, that's about to be your grandma.
Yeah, she could have been the step grandma.
Right.
That's very funny.
Love it.
Okay.
Listen, it is again this idea. Big dog gonna bark. Big dog gotta eat.
Yeah. You don't want the insurance involved? There's a price for that.
It is so shitty to hear from the insurance company a day.
Right?
All was good.
I guess he's not that nice.
Would you rather him call you for dinner and then go, well, I guess I'm going to have to get the insurance company involved? Like, would you rather know that was coming?
Like, if not?
If he said it outright, no, that's even worse.
That's even
horrific.
worse. That's like someone, again, that's like someone who's trying to, what's the word? When you
blackmail,
is it
I think. Yeah.
Is it blackmail? Not really, because it's not going to release anything.
Right.
It's just, what?
It's a threat.
It's a threat,
right.
I guess. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, I guess the insurance is him not threatening. He's just like, send him over. We should go through the proper.
Right. Well, he was going to let it slide. He kept saying he didn't need to get involved. And then all of a sudden, the motives changed. Shocking. All right.
We have another Are We Dating? We love these ones.
Love and Are We Dating? So much fun. All right. Hi, J&J. Big fan here. Your discussions always make me laugh, and Jared's male perspective is so helpful for me as I navigate the New York dating scene.
I'll try and help again.
So happy that Jared's perspective is so helpful for you. Guess I'll just...
Well, that's like
I'll just fuck off then.
The apartment tour, everyone was like, Jordana looks amazing. Jordana looks...
You got some, too.
No, only when I commented, and Jared...
Guys, we're very competitive with each other.
That's
we
right.
need to know that we're both attractive and helpful.
We didn't mention the apartment tour. The response.
We didn't mention the apartment tour?
Did we talk
That's
about
all
it?
we talk about.
No,
right?
it's all we've talked about off. We haven't...
Oh, it came out. Oh, because it came out on Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's all we talk about off air. I was confused.
Well, it's been... I will say, let me just thank
I guess
people.
we talked about benefits, too. So.
Oh, yeah, we did. So it's
And
on
I talked
benefits.
about it with Naomi. I've been talking about it a lot.
I haven't talked about it once. It's very nice to hear the feedback. I like that. I think it served its purpose of showing this is like
yeah, people loved it.
New York City dude. Just this is how he's living. I think when you go home to a guy's place and it's like the bed is on the floor, you're like almost offended by it. Like he didn't even try for me. And this was like a non-offensive. I think this took the personal nature of those apartments out of it.
Totally. And it was just so funny and so New York. It felt like a Seinfeld-y, like curve,
you
curve
crushed
thing.
it. You were hilarious. Jorge
Sorry, it was
crushed
great.
it.
I mean, the way
Candace,
we got
the whole
to see the
team.
way you slept. I mean, the video has over 17,000 views on it, and we only have like 11,000 subscribers. So
Right.
it's a little offensive.
Well,
but
we want people to subscribe to the YouTube. We think it's a really cool way to like interact with the show. The comments, I keep going back and reading them. I love the comments. I like the community that kind of... The YouTube commenters like get a bad rap, I think. Or maybe they don't.
I think
don't
they're
know.
nicer than people elsewhere, personally.
Well, yeah. I think there's more like just chit chat on there. Do you know what I mean? It feels more normal for some reason. I don't know why. Right. So
A little bit, yeah. No, I can see that. Well, thank you guys for
Yeah,
watching.
thank
We'll do someone else's
well,
apartment.
what are we gonna do at 20K? We're not gonna do your house. What is your house?
My house is on Long Island. That's
No, but what-
100K.
100K.
That's 100K.
Which, listen, there are YouTube pages like that's not like a unreal
That's not
ask.
insane,
That's
yeah.
not insane in
you guys
the
are
world of
10%,
YouTube.
11% there.
We're almost there. Well,
Yeah.
So we're saying 100K
100K. We'll take a car to my house. Yeah.
a limo. Because only limos are allowed down that street.
Stop it. You're making
To see
you're
the
embarrassing
grounds.
me.
That's not. We're gonna have. We're gonna
Dad,
get
you're
the golf cart out.
embarrassing
We're gonna have to. Because this house, it's not a house.
Oh, you're really
It's called a property.
Okay. Bring your bathing suits. We'll go for a swim.
Yeah. There's gonna be a barbecue, swimming. There's gonna be basketball. There's a court.
Jared,
Jordan's getting that.
they're gonna come for me.
All right. Okay.
Oh, we're
What are we
doing
doing?
salsa.
Salsa class. We're taking
She's like,
salsa
not
lessons.
me. You guys.
Yeah, okay. We're taking salsa lessons at
yes.
20K.
And we'll film it, obviously.
Yeah, we gotta.
Can we do? Can it be a private class? Not like.
I'm trying to think of what's more realistic. Like,
Jorge will also get in there because I just feel like he's pretty good.
yeah. Okay, so 20K.
The three of us.
We go
and
salsa
Candace,
dancing.
Candace too, of course.
Take a
if you
lesson.
wanna, yeah.
Perfect. Candace, you're in. All right, let's do an Are We Dating?
All right. I'm 25 and I've been seeing someone I met on Hinge, 28. We started going on dates right before the holidays, which is always tough as there's a lot of time filled with traveling and not being in the same city.
So says someone not dating someone.
Just so tough around the holidays.
Right.
Surprisingly, though, we made it through and we've now been going on dates for 3 months now. He hasn't ever asked me to be exclusive and is an MBA student, so part of me feels like he is back in college mode, aka going out often, traveling almost every weekend, and is unemployed. Despite this, though, we talk every day and we always make an effort to see each other during the week/weekend. Sometimes we go on dates, sometimes we just hang around and watch TV. But we always have a good time and we have both acknowledged and said that we really like each other. It's getting to the point, though, where I'm starting to feel like we should be dating. And I worry that he's essentially getting his cake and eating it too. Recently, I did tell him I was a little worried he would be too busy to get into a relationship, and that was a little scary for me. And he was receptive, saying that he didn't see that happening and that he knows we're reaching the what are we conversation point.
Not yet.
We're
We're almost there.
I don't see that totally happening at this exact moment in time, which I thought was kind of weird, as I didn't realize this was like on the calendar. He also said that he has enjoyed our slow pace, but knows it's not fair to be casual forever. That's a red flag.
That's telling you exactly where he is.
Anytime anyone says anything about being fair, you know you're on the way out.
Fair is fair.
It's not fair to you.
Right.
It just wouldn't be fair to you.
Right. And it wouldn't be fair to me if we just rushed things. So
that's kind of where we left it because I don't want to push him. All right. Still, though, he continues to seem 1 foot in, 1 foot out. We did spend Valentine's Day together, not anything fancy, but I'm scared that when he's going on his business school trips, he could still be seeing other people, and I don't want to sit around while he's traveling and living his best life, essentially, just for him to come back and hang out with me when it's convenient. Finally, this weekend, he did invite me to meet his friends for the first time at his best friend's birthday party, and I'm really excited about it. I'm hoping that will be a good segue to bring up taking the next step forward, because we are essentially doing everything that people dating are doing without a label. He also bought me a face wash for his apartment on Monday, and I feel like I need to add that in because it's giving boyfriend. I mean, he purchased her a face wash.
I agree with everything she says. It's just the way she's saying it.
Bought me a face wash.
She needs a perspective shift, but okay.
Last thing. He is taking an internship outside of the city this summer and just decided on it. What an interesting time to have just decided on it.
Right.
I feel like this is just adding to his uncertainty, and it's definitely an elephant in the room that we're not addressing in terms of what does that mean for us. I feel like I need to stand up for myself, and if he's going to be comfortable living in this gray area forever, it's not going to work for me. Do you think he's taking advantage of my chillness? Or do you think that maybe he's just a slow burn? I'm impatient and not used to taking things one step at a time, so any insight here would be appreciated.
Okay, well, let me start at this is not your boyfriend.
Okay. It's not your boyfriend, but I would say they're dating.
I can tell you he's saying we hook up.
What?
And I just, the idea.
But they hang out both watching TV and other stuff.
I mean, listen, I'm sorry to break it to, Netflix and chill over here, but
sometimes they go on dates.
It's not.
They're not. You're saying he doesn't think they're dating.
Well, her talk, everything she's saying, I'm not mad. I'm not mad at her. I understand why she's saying the things she's saying, but it's the way she's saying it that I'm like the idea that you're sitting at home waiting while he's on his business school trips. Mm-hmm. I didn't know business school took all these trips.
Oh, that's like a whole that's like half of it. They take all these trips.
Right. I don't know what she's afraid of losing. It seems like you're afraid of losing a guy that really doesn't make you feel that good. Idea that you're just, it feels like even the hangout, we watch Netflix and stay in together. Check that box.
Sometimes they go on dates.
Right. She doesn't even talk about how much, and it feels very young to me. It feels very 25. And she's allowed to be 25. She's allowed to be young. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I think this is kind of a learning point of at this point, do you like this guy? She's having his cake and eating it too. When you say that about someone, it's I don't think you like him. I think you like that you have a him, but I don't think you like.
I think she likes him.
Where in this
she sees him. She wants to date him. So wouldn't she like him?
Sure, but I don't see any personality in this description.
Well, maybe it's just not helpful for the question.
Maybe. I don't know. I just have a. I'm tasting something. I'm
right.
And again, I don't know how to place it, but the tone of this whole thing of
we always have a good time. We both acknowledge and said that we really like each other.
Yeah, these are just she's just giving me these bullet points that I don't know. It doesn't feel, and she's just sitting there. She never says hey. I don't know. I'm not blaming her. I know it sounds bad.
Well, he has all these built-in excuses that he just keeps coming up with new ones.
Right, and all she has to do is say one thing: "You're my boyfriend. I'm dating you. I'm not on the dating apps."
Scary.
I know it's scary. It's one abracadabra breaks the spell.
Right.
That's why when I hear all these things, it's hey, the reveal is just that's why the reveal exists. It's hey, have one on your when you say he even says the word casual, oh yeah, we are getting to that point where we should start talking about it. It's So he knows, like,
He's enjoyed our slow pace, but knows it's not fair to be casual forever.
right.
And even just the phrasing of that, it's not like if I've enjoyed the slow pace and I'm excited for what's to come, it's like, and it's not fair to be casual forever.
I can't keep fucking around forever.
Right. And like if I had my way, we would be casual forever.
Right. And when do you get angry? You know, like when do you get mad? How far can you be pushed? You know, and I guess that's the perspective. I guess like when I hear
introducing her to his friends.
That's fair. I get it. I feel bad with, I don't know, something about her email just.
You don't think she's that into him? Is that the issue with the email?
I think she's into having a boyfriend. I think she's like trying to win. And we talk about this on the SOS episode on Sunday.
Well,
and I don't know, you know, when you say.
I mean, you say that, I feel like you've said that a couple times. Is that like a fear of yours that someone that is into you is just wants a boyfriend?
I think that's a fear for a lot of guys. I think that's like
That's not about
that
them?
I'm just some vessel to get to the next spot. And
Why would we torture ourselves then? Why wouldn't we just date someone who wants to be with us?
well, I do think it has to do with societal things. Like, you know, we talk about the parents being like, you know, the pressures of parents and, you know, all my friends are in relationships. I want to be in a relationship too. I've never been in a relationship before. Like
Right.
these are all things not said by guys.
No, I get that, but I'm saying like if the whole goal was like I want to be in a relationship, wouldn't it be easier to pick someone who was interested in you?
Yeah. Well, but that person's a ghost. This is the person she's dealing
dealt with, I guess.
Yeah, like and again, I understand that. Like, you know he's safe. You know he's got a job. You know you know what his penis looks like. Like these are all things that like men kind of get to hide, like all these
Mediocrity.
safe thing. Yeah, yeah. Like
Well,
you know,
I mean, that's the thing about like being detached is like you're then put on a pedestal a lot of the time. Anyone who's not playing all their cards or like holding back a little bit or not as interested in you is seemingly more attractive, and that's kind of like the annoying thing about dating.
right. And she doesn't want to go back. She's probably afraid of going back to the apps or afraid of going back to zero.
Yeah,
And now she's chasing this, but like,
I think she likes him.
I think she likes him fine, but I don't. How many things can she reveal? There's like 30 things
How
here
many
that
red
she's
flags?
not happy with. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like she
Well, they're
said,
all, but none of those things are about his personality, more so than about like
how he acts.
Right. I mean,
Like,
I guess,
it's just-
I guess when you say it like that,
Right,
yeah.
like-
well, it's funny because like we don't. I guess, and that's a good point. What you're just saying there is like you're like, oh, like you're kind of when you like someone, and you're kind of in this like situation-y ship type thing. You're kind of blaming. You'll do anything to not blame it on their personality. You blame it on the circumstances. And he
Right.
won't date me because he's in school, and he won't date me because he's traveling all the time, and he has all this schoolwork, and he's just not in like the adult mindset, and like he's like this. And you don't say those are personality traits, but like what you're saying is that they are, and
Right.
that's kind of true. And that would like sort of like you said, get rid of the smoke a little bit so you could see who you're actually dealing with.
Right. And it's all these excuses to not be annoyed. Like, how about you say, this is fucked up. You went on your business school trip or not. Like, when she said, I'm just sitting at home waiting for him, you're 25. You should be at a nightclub. You should be making out with some rando.
What if he's the one?
I'm sitting here waiting. I don't know. I got kind of sad from that.
Yeah, I mean that's what you do with someone who just keeps sending you mixed signals.
Well, this is the thing. Like, I understand. Listen, I agree. Okay. I'm just like she's explaining how he's advancing his life, while she's like only stuck on. I can only advance until he tells me we can.
Right. Well, that's her issue is that she hasn't taken this into her own hands.
Right. And that's what makes me feel upset for her because I'm like, he's in business school. He's going to do the internship outside of the city. He's making all these decisions to make the best for him. And I do think everyone is personally motivated. She is too. So what's her personal motivation? It must be to just have a boyfriend.
Well, I mean, you could think that you like someone even though they're being withholding. Or maybe that's part of the reason you do like them. That's like a little bit of a mind game that I don't think most people are immune to.
No, I don't disagree at all. I think you like who you like, but I think she has to evaluate, why do I like this person? Like,
Right. What is it about them?
What is it about? You're right. And I like that they're motivated. I like that they're getting their MBA. Those can all be in,
Right.
but what makes you annoyed? Have you said those things to him?
Right. Well, I like that term, annoyed, and I like that idea, because I think what you're saying is going to be helpful for getting over this person.
Right.
Is to say it is to change the circumstances to personality traits.
Right.
He's annoying. He's
right.
not like in school and quite busy. He's like annoying and only thinking about himself.
Yeah, right. He's in school and having a blast without including you in it.
Right. That's more of a personality trait.
Right.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. But this email it could have been written by AI. I've heard all these sentences before. Having their cake while eating it too. Is she 100?
Is he taking advantage of her chillness?
Right. I've heard those lines. I've heard them all. Is this the end of the show for me?
Do you think maybe
have I reached the end of dating? I've heard this shit before.
You've reached the final level.
Right. I
What do you think maybe he's a slow burn?
Slow burn. I think she needs to text him this right now.
Let's text. Let's do it.
Let's write a text.
You're on a roll with text
I'm on a
today.
roll.
Let's hear it.
The rant didn't come in the last one. Here's my rant. Hey, I know you're in. I don't even know. Hey, I've been thinking again. A man's worst nightmare.
I've been thinking.
I said again. That was on. We taped.
We have the Sunday episode before this. Spoiler alert. There's an I've been thinking text at the end.
Right. So I think I've been thinking is the scariest text that you can ever get from a woman. So I've been thinking.
Why? Isn't it usually come with a breakup and you love those?
No, I've been thinking means we got to have an argument.
Okay.
A breakup would be like, hey, we're done.
No one would ever text you that.
I just got a little
Wouldn't
turned
be
on.
Satisfying enough. You'd need a lot of lead up to that.
I've been thinking. I feel really alone in this. I'm trying to progress this relationship, and it's not really turning into anything different. I'd like to be in a relationship. I feel that we act as if we're in a relationship. I'm off the apps. I'm committing to you. And he will be smoked out.
Yeah.
I think at that point he'll feel guilty that
Or
he'll
admit
know that you're
he's
twiddling
in
your
love.
thumbs at home, or he's in love, one or the other. But I think business school MBA guy who goes on trips every weekend and is partying doesn't know you're sitting at home like, well, I'm just waiting until he says we're together. Like, I don't think he's acting.
Right. Well, time to tell him.
Now you got to tell him, hey, I'm home this weekend.
And 3 months in, you can say, I
Absolutely.
think we're in a relationship.
Yes, absolutely.
We are in a relationship.
I'm in a relationship
Now
with
you need to, if you want to get out of it, you need to break up with me.
Right. I'm in a relationship with you.
Yeah. I have a boyfriend now. I don't know if you heard. I have a boyfriend. It's you.
Yeah. I just told my parents.
Yeah.
They're calling you later. Find out ring sizes.
Exactly.
Let's play some games.
Let's do it. Okay.
Red flag or deal breaker. I love these. These are getting more and more specific.
Always great.
Always great.
All right. You do the first one.
Okay. Red flag or deal breaker. They remind you of your ex. J&J, I live and breathe your podcast.
Love it. Love it. Soak it in. Take a bath with it.
Was that disgusting?
No, that was, I feel like that was what living and breathing this podcast feels like.
Right. Red flag or deal breaker. You start to realize your new boyfriend is eerily similar to your old boyfriend. My boyfriend and I have been together for just over a year, and he has lots of similarities to my ex, and it's kind of weirding me out. 1, they both love Drake. I know this is not that crazy. Drake is obviously very popular, but maybe this is a red flag in and of itself. 2, Robert Downey Jr. is their favorite actor. Okay. 3, they both occasionally sang the Tokyo Drift song. Every time one of these things are mentioned, I kind of think of my ex. For the record, I don't have any bad blood with my ex. We were together 2 years and ended up drifting apart because of distance and ended up mutually ending things. Regardless, is this too close for comfort? Please advise. Red flag or deal breaker. They've got a little things in common with your ex. What do you think?
No issue.
None.
I mean, that speaks to you having a type.
Right.
Your type is going to have things in common with with someone else you dated. That's why it's a type.
Right. And all these things are like so like wide.
Right.
You know, it's not like they, you know, again, like look alike, that's a type. I get that. That can happen.
It's a personality type.
Right, like liking Robert Downey Jr. Like,
You're
okay,
basic bitch.
right?
Fine.
This is
Right.
this is basic,
It's not like
bro.
they like some obscure like musician that only 2 people have heard of.
Right.
This is Drake.
You're basic, he's basic. Run away together.
I love it.
Give in,
All right.
loser. No, I'm kidding.
Hi, J&J. My boyfriend and I of 5 months are huge fans of the podcast. On an early hangout date, we watched Jared's special, and for Christmas, he got me tickets to see Jared in Boston tomorrow night. Obviously, a keeper.
I love this guy.
Oh, wow. I hope they
This is a green flag. I hope they had fun.
I wonder if this is about him. Listening together brings up awesome discussions about dating and getting to know one another. Last night, we were talking about dating disclosures, such as what you put on your profile versus don't, what filters would make you swipe left, etc. I told him if I had known he had a cat, I probably wouldn't have swiped on him because I'm mildly allergic. Instead, second date, we're having dinner and he asked me if I had any allergies. I said, no, just cats. He said, oh, same. I'm allergic to cats, but I have one. Okay. Turns out he and his last partner got 2 cats together and he kept one when they split. Ew. I was already falling for him, so I decided to go for it. And fast forward, things are great, and I'm looking into allergy shots. Are you both looking into allergy shots? There is a "Do you have pets" option on Hinge, and his response to why he didn't use it was, "You can't be a single guy with a cat." Made me think, was this ever a big deal? Did I disregard a lot of guys for something that shouldn't have been a filter? It's not a lot in the grand scheme of things, like, for example, if he had a child, etc. But at the same time, it's a big consideration for living together and wanting to have a dog eventually, which are both big goals of mine. So red flag or deal breaker, they don't disclose that they have a pet on their profile. Sincerely, waking up to a cat on my face.
This is not a problem for me.
That they lied?
Well,
Because she wrote they don't disclose that they have a pet on their profile. I think it's different to not disclose and to lie.
right. You
Because-
just didn't answer that box, right?
Oh, he didn't use it.
Right.
Okay. She said he didn't use it, which is fine.
Right.
Okay.
And it was
Fair.
second date that he goes, I got a cat, but I'm allergic to. I don't know. Like, to
No,
me,
that's
this is
fine. Yeah. I thought for some reason the first time I read it, I thought he wrote like, "Do you have pets?" and he wrote no.
right.
He just didn't answer it.
Just didn't answer.
That's
it.
fine.
I mean, this is talked about on the special that they watched together. Like the idea of like the problem with dating apps is that you're looking at a menu of a person and
Right.
you know, you don't even get to really meet.
You don't get a vibe.
Don't know vibe. You just toss them aside based on these like weird things that you have. And she's like imagining a dog in a mansion.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, you can still have those things. It's called communication. It's called negotiation. It's called a relationship. And I think you should feel lucky that you didn't put that.
And you're not just saying this because he loved your special and bought her a Christmas gift for the tickets?
Not at all. No, I just think like the idea of like I like him, but should this have been a red flag?
Right. Yeah.
It's
No,
a
I
little
think it's
bit
fine.
like you're now doing a thing that you're kind of looking for issues. Like
And I
sometimes
think
you dodge a bullet.
Someone who does disclose it is more into cats than maybe this guy is.
Right. This guy got a cat in a divorce settlement of sorts.
All right.
And he's allergic. He's dealt with it. And I don't know. It's like, to me, it's like when you're looking back for red flags, it's like,
Yeah. Let's move on.
let it
I agree. Yeah.
lie. You know, like,
Jared, I have a different red flag or deal breaker for you. You're on a date with a woman, second date. She says, "I have a cat." And my ex-boyfriend and I got 2 cats together.
right.
And I took one of the cats, and I have a cat, and I'm allergic to cats. Are you?
I'd be okay with it.
You're fine with it?
Yeah, that doesn't even like phase me. I think it's more like I once had, on their profile it said they lived in the West Village, and then you find out, oh, that's where I work. And I'm like, well, I probably would have swiped left
Hood-fished,
on
yeah.
hood-fished. That's right. So I probably would have, and then
spit in their face.
I said, get out of here, peasant. But it did kind of play in, I do kind of make that assumption. Like you do kind of go in, I guess I'm in the same way. My assumption would be like, why don't you just be honest?
Right.
But
Well, I kind of like that he's self-aware that cats are not that desirable.
right. Guy with a cat is a little bit of it's a thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll let people
He's
into
aware
my
that
world.
it's weird. That's what I'm saying. It's okay to do something a little weird, be a little weird. just acknowledge,
Well,
acknowledge that you are a little weird.
To go back to our, we did an episode with Emma Willman. I mean, like, this isn't the same as I've been with men.
Right.
But there were people that gave feedback that was like, I thought we talked about it in a very universal, way in that episode. I thought we like kind of covered all the sides of it, and we were all like a little bit not sure what the answer was.
To bring that, it's funny that you were talking about that episode, because I actually spoke to Emma today, and she was telling me how she spoke to like a different like therapist about that question. And she was saying that the therapist said that like it is the person who's sleeping with someone's job to like ask any questions that might make them not want to sleep with someone before they want to sleep with them.
Right.
And I said to her, which like I agree with that. I think in a perfect world, I agree with that.
Right.
In a perfect world, everyone will ask all the questions they need to ask.
Right.
Before doing anything.
Right. I think also the thing that we didn't I didn't really. I think it's more about when it was said.
Right. Well, that's what I was saying to her.
Right.
After. I was like, I think she hit the nail on the head, where she was like, it's not about the fact that he said it. It's about like exactly when.
Right.
The exact moment that he said it, which was like immediately after, which came off distasteful.
Right. And as would any former partner.
Right. But I also understand.
Male, female, whatever they identify. If you slept with someone, then they're like, my ex.
Right.
Never did that.
I also do.
Like, what?
I also do understand the idea of asking questions that are that you have to ask. It's your job to ask any questions that are important to you before that.
I'm with you.
So I think I think it's an interesting one. We're going to do more. They're a little they're good for us to work through.
Absolutely. So
all right, let's do one more.
Catman, stick with him. A Jared Freed fan for life.
We love him. Bring your cats to the next show. See how well that goes.
That's right. J&J, love the podcast. I have a red flag deal breaker for you. My boyfriend and I are writing this in together because we have a score to settle. Judge J&J.
We're here. My cards are a little less neat than yours.
He very much would like to have one of his friends paint a portrait of 3 of his family dogs, one of which is deceased, to hang in our home. This is crazy. He pictures them playing poker or doing some other activity in the painting. While I'm not opposed to having a small photograph-sized painting to sit on one of our shelves, I'm concerned about the idea of having a sizable painting of the dogs hanging on our wall, because I personally think people who do this are completely unhinged. I would very much appreciate your opinion on this matter, since we are at odds and we need an unbiased opinion. We will abide by your decision. Thanks. Signed, Throw Your Girl a Bone here.
I agree with her. This is weird. I'm out.
Really?
No portrait, no enormous portrait of your old dogs living and dead. That's a no.
I could not disagree more. I think there's a compromise version of this.
She already suggested the compromise.
No,
it's
a little
small,
tiny one. No,
picture.
this is a beautiful portrait. They're gonna painters doing this. They're commissioning art.
This is no. This is spoken like a man who's lived alone for many years.
No, but here's my compromise. You put it in the bathroom. You put it in his man cave. You put it in
the basement bathroom.
Fine. Somewhere fun. I think.
How big could it be, though?
As big as they'd like. I think when you're doing like a portrait that's stupid, like this isn't living room. Foyer. Yeah, this isn't the foyer. This isn't the living room. This is it goes in a fun spot in the same way that the painting of me with the charcuterie board is in the bathroom. Like. Fine. I think I think where you put this is the compromise, and he should abide by putting it in a basement, putting it in a weird place that he can enjoy it, that he can laugh at it when he gets to laugh at it, but it's not going to go, your dog playing poker, in a cloud is not going in the living room.
Yes. I mean,
but to make it small, to me, it defeats the purpose. Like, why not just put it in his wallet?
Fine. I'm down for that compromise too. Yeah. Either small and it can be out in the main living areas.
Okay.
Or enormous and it has to go somewhere that's a joke.
Right.
Like
agreed.
Basement.
Like I listen to a podcast. Tony Kornheiser, I think he won an Emmy, and it holds the toilet paper in his bathroom somewhere. Like I think that's like a fun quirk of a home.
Right. Yeah.
Is my point.
It's not the centerpiece, but it's fair. All right.
Judge J&J did it again. We solved dating.
Judge J&J has ruled.
That's right. If you have your Judge J&J ruling you'd like to send in, uup@edges.com, and we'll be back next episode.
Bye. The You Up podcast is produced by Jorge Morales-Pico, Sean Kilby, and Candice Maniga. Editing by Jorge Morales-Pico and Shannon Sassone. Social media by Candice Maniga. Guest booking by Ali Friedlander. Be sure to follow at you.up.podcast on Instagram and send us your emails to uup@betches.com.